Hi, Henry Haddad, talking to you today about the E2 visa. I'm an immigration and business lawyer here in Los Angeles for over 34 years. I've helped many families from all over the world come to the U.S., whether it's to pursue education, business, or to unite with their families. I've been helping them for years and years. Today's topic is the E2 visa. So let's get into it. Many people think that if they come to the U.S. and invest money in a company or buy a property, that allows them to get a visa to stay here. Well, the answer to that is no, not true. You can be here on a tourist visa or business visa, you can be outside in your home country, and you can buy property in the US, you can invest in the stock market, you can invest in any business without working in the US. For that, there is no special visa, there is no visa at all, there is no visa that allows you to be here. The E2 visa is tailored for a different type of thing. So investing will not get you a visa, but operating a business in the U.S. is what the E2 visa is about. It's underutilized by many people. Perhaps they don't know about it. But the main characteristics of the E2 visa are as follows. Number one, and most important, is that your country of origin, your nationality, has to have a treaty with the U.S., meaning that there has to be a bilateral treaty that allows business operations from U.S. citizens to the host country and the host country with the U.S. And to find out if your country has a treaty with the U.S., you can go to the State Department website and type in E2 treaty countries. And if your country's on there, it will show E1, E2. Today we're talking about the E2 visa. So if your country has a treaty with the U.S., then you can apply for the E2 visa. You have to buy a business, not invest in a business, but buy a business. And that business could be a franchise, could be a retail store, could be a lunch truck, could be your just idea, what you have in mind, what you'd like to do in the U.S. You want to test the U.S. market, you have an idea about a business, about a project, about certain goods, inventory, whatever it is in the U.S., that would be buying a business in the U.S. And it cannot be that you have a plan to buy a business in the U.S. because that's too speculative for immigration, for the U.S. consular officials. It has to be that you already bought a business with the U.S., perhaps you opened escrow, the transaction is 99% complete, with the only contingency being that you need to get this E2 visa. So you're buying a business subject to you're getting an E2 visa. Otherwise, you'll be putting money, you buy a business, your money's gone, and then you don't get the E2 visa, you're out of luck. So be careful with that. Don't do that. If you're going to go in a partnership, you have to be a majority owner, meaning at least 51%, just to be on the safe side. So it's in process. So 51% meaning if the business value, the purchase of the business is $500,000, then you're putting in $251,000. You have the majority in there. If the business is worth $200,000, you're putting $101,000. And shares of stock, certificates, there's documents to prove that you are the majority owner. It has to be also a substantial investment. What that means is there is no set amount, but obviously an amount of $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, even $50,000 may not be sufficient. Throughout the years, historically, the amount of $100,000 has surfaced as a minimum amount of investment. You'll be lucky to find any business today for $100,000, but there are some out there. Most franchises are a lot more, but it has to be substantial investment. So don't think because you have $12,000, you're going to come here and apply for the E2 visa, or from your home country apply for the E2 visa and get an E2 visa. It just doesn't work that way. You also have to show that you have experience. And what that means is experience in business if you're going to operate a business. For example, if you're a mathematician, you're a school teacher, you're an engineer, and you want to come to the U.S. and open a shoe store, they're going to say, okay, what experience do you have operating a business? Now, you may not have had that in your professional career, but perhaps when you were younger, your parents owned a retail store, you know about meeting payroll expenses, about paying taxes, sales taxes, you have some experience in a business and running a business, then that can count towards your experience because, frankly, nobody wants you to come here and open up a business and have that business fail. So you have to have experience for your own sake and also for getting the visa. And last and most important is source of funds. What this means is you have to prove to the immigration officer, the consular official, that the monies you have to invest are from a legitimate source. That this isn't drug money or unlawful money, but this is money that you've earned throughout your life, you've inherited, Maybe you won the lottery in your country, but you have to be able to prove and show with satisfaction to the U.S. immigration or consular official that this money came from a legitimate source. Many people often will borrow money and use that as an investment for an E2 visa. And if you're going to borrow money from family members and so forth, if that money is secured by property that you have in your home country, then that can be a source of funds that can be used to buy the E2 business. Now, like all other types of E2 visas or non-immigrant visas, remember, this is a non-immigrant visa, which means that you're going to be here, and if it's approved for 2 years at a time, you get it extended as long as you're running a business. But this type of visa by itself will not lead to getting lawful permanent residency. This E2 visa is issued to a person, his wife, husband or wife, and all children under 21. And like all other visas, you have to also be eligible, meaning you cannot have a criminal background, you cannot have unlawful stays in the U.S. previously, and you have to have eligibility, which all general immigrant and non-immigrant visa applicants must have. So the E2 visa is for operating a business in the U.S., make as much money as you can in the U.S., operate it for as long as you want in the U.S., and many people have great ideas, great business ideas, taking some concept and improving on it, but it requires investment and a commitment on your part. If you have any questions, you can always call our office. We're here to assist you. Thank you.